everyone, welcome to this week's Trimcraft Tuesday video. This week I am scrapbooking with first edition Gardenia, and for my first project with this paper pad I just had to do a scrapbook layout with a picture of my mum. This paper pad just makes me think of her so much. She is a garden loving person, she's a gardener, she just loves all the flowers and the pots and the soil and the digging and all the garden related stuff. So for my background I'm using that lovely sort of mint and green gingham piece, but the photo that you saw at the beginning there, it wasn't right, it was too big and clunky and it just didn't work. So I went to my computer and just printed off a picture of her, which is one of my favourite pictures of her, and I printed it off a bit smaller as well, so it was a size that I'm more comfortable to work with. And I'll talk about the photo itself in a bit, but what I'm going to start off doing is cutting a load of strips here. They're not 1 inch, they're about 3/4 of an inch, and obviously the way I'm cutting them, some are 12 inches long, some are like 11 1/4, depending on at what stage I've cut them, but just a load of different strips there. And then what I'm going to do with these is just a little bit of paper weaving. So I'm getting my long strips here, so the strips for the vertical part of the weaving, just making sure those are sort of in a pattern where you've got not two similar colours are together, and then I put them just on my mat like that and then washi tape up the top, and then I take the horizontal strips and just weave in and out like so. I think I made a few errors actually when I did it the first time. This might be the second time I did it. I hadn't paper weaved in a while. Sometimes you forget how to do the simplest of things when it's been a while. So yes, I'm just going to do that. Well, the way I'm going to have this is have it towards the right of the page, and then sort of have the strips all at different levels, and so you'll see how it's cut in a bit. I suppose while I'm doing this weaving I could talk about my picture. As I said, it's one of my favourite ones of my mum. I took it. We were in the Yorkshire Dales in 2012, I'm going to say. And yeah, we were just, if you know the Yorkshire Dales, if you know that part of England, I mean, you do get some funny place names in England in general, but somewhere like the Yorkshire Dales, the Lake District, places like that, you do get some very cute and quirky, interesting place names. And we were just driving along the road, and I saw this sign that said Crackpot, for obviously, I assume, a little village somewhere called Crackpot. And I was like, Mum, just go stand next to that sign, as if it's pointing to you that you're a crackpot. So yeah, took that picture. Annoyingly, there was something being held up, like a sign or something. So there's that annoying yellow wire pole thing going right in front of her, but oh well, never mind. So that's what the picture is really. So here I am, I've made my paper weaving, I've pulled some up higher, some lower, etc. And then I just stuck couple of lines of double-sided tape straight onto my layout and then just poofed them onto there, and then I'm going to go back and then glue them all into place a bit later on. But here what I'm doing is just cutting a diagonal edge off each strip so they look a little bit more like they're ribbon or something like that. Some of them I'm not going to do that too, because I'm going to have them like completely going off the layout, so I didn't need to do those. So lots of different levels and things going on there. It just makes the whole thing a little more interesting, look a bit more rustic, I suppose, and that's the kind of feel I'm going for with this layout. So here I am just choosing some papers just to fussy cut a few bits and pieces from. I've got the butterflies, the watering cans, and the welly boots as well. I'm just going to cut, as I said, a load of these to use as embellishments, but obviously I will not leave all the fussy cutting footage in because that would be very dull to watch, and I didn't film it all anyway because that would just be a waste of camera battery. But yes, so I didn't do loads and loads. When I fussy cut these days, I tend to just do a little bit at a time, rather than what I used to do is just like sit down and fussy cut the whole entire page, and now I do it on a more as needed basis. So I think here I'm going to back my photo. I'm just trimming off the edges there where I'd cut it a bit wonky, but I am leaving a small white border, and I'm going to back it using the 8x8 paper pad. I'm going to use this lovely, these are the first two papers from the pad actually. There's this pearlescent one, really beautiful mint with the florals, and then one of my favourite papers is this green wood grain, which is also a fabric textured paper. And I'm going to really, really rough up the edges of that as well with the distress tool. You saw them on screen a minute or two ago, and although they are just up there in the top right, those doilies, I'm also going to back my photo with those. I'm pretty sure they're both Dovecraft ones, but really, really old collections, like when I was on the design team, like when I bought them a long, long time ago. So I'm not sure what collection, but Pretty sure they are Dovecraft. I think the green one was from a collection called Serendipity, and I have no idea how old that is, but yes, I just glued those on and I've just stuck them straight onto the paper weaving section. And then I thought, behind the photo, I just needed something else, so I just cut a strip of tissue paper. I've kind of folded it 3 times, kind of in on itself, and I'm just chopping that down. Just, I don't know, the picture needed something else behind it, and I thought just a little layer of tissue paper would look nice. Here I am. I'm just going to distress not all the edges of the layout, just this left edge, just adds a little bit more interest and stuff, and again going with that whole sort of rustic feel I'm going for this layout. And then I'm going to stick my photo down, and then after that just do lots and lots of embellishing with all those little fussy cut pieces that I cut. Those will all be stuck on with my favourite glue, which is the Nuvo or Tonic Studios tacky glue. Oh, I am having such trouble with that glue bottle at the moment though. It gets clogged like after every single thing I do. Like I glue one embellishment and put it down and it's clogged again, so I glue another one. I've tried everything. I've washed the nozzle out with water. I have like poked through the nozzle to see if there's anything completely clogging it, completely emptied it. I don't know why does the glue bottle hate me so much. It's constantly clogged and it's making me very, very cross. Anyways, yes, the butterflies, when I add those, I am just adding a little bit of Distress Oxide in Milled Lavender, just around those, just to add nice little light sort of feel to them. It kind of just makes them look slightly more like they're moving or something, more of an airy feel. Here I am, I just suddenly realised, oh yeah, I needed to glue down all those paper weaving, like, extra bits sticking out, because I mean it may not have been 100% necessary, but after time they might start to flop down or something, and as I was starting to stick all my embellishments down, probably a good idea to stick all those bits down as well. So yes, I've stuck a couple of welly boots on there, and I've just had a thought. I have a great picture somewhere of me and my mum in Yorkshire on this same holiday wearing boots in a stream, and I think I might have to use the welly boot paper for that layout. Sorry, totally just thinking aloud there, so maybe you'll see that project in future. I'm just chopping off those bits off the edge there, so everything is all within the layout and it's not going to poke out awkwardly out of my album. And I'm going around the edge of the whole thing with Distress Oxide in frayed burlap, and on that left edge where I distressed it, adding a little bit more ink there. And then there was a couple of places where I added too much ink and it looked a bit but I just blended those with my finger and it just really calmed them down, I suppose is the best way to put that. So my title is My Favourite Crackpot. Just thought that was quite funny. The alphas I'm using, these white ones here, I'm just bringing that title down. Originally I thought I'd have it in the top left, and then I decided to have it where I end up putting it. Those white ones are from the Heidi Swap Emerson Lane collection, and then these black ones I'm using, I do not know what collection they're from. I bought them on Amazon a while back. They were really, really cheap, and they must be super, super old. They're just really pretty black ones that have got like a white swirl inside. The only thing with these alphas is there's those ones, you know, where they've like not all the letters are in alphabetical order, like they've squeezed as many onto the thing as they can, which I appreciate, but sometimes it makes it really hard to find the letters. And that pack as well, because it has both lowercase and uppercase, those are all mixed in together and it just takes forever to find a letter. Anyway, that was just a little side rant there. Here I am adding some pearls. Again, I'm pretty sure all of these are old Dovecraft collection ones just from my stash. I've got I'm just using pearl coloured ones and those really dark gold ones, like a brassy gold that I used recently. Here I am adding my splatters, of course. This is Distress Spray Stain in Tarnished Brass. I was going to go with my usual gold splatters, but I thought, again, that tarnished brass colour would add to that rustic feel, and I used those brassy pearl dots as well, so those looked a little better, and it was all sort of kind of browns and stuff, and it worked just a lot better. And I finished off with some Dovecraft 3D Pearl Effects in pastel green, so adding a few of those, and then I believe the layout is complete. Just tapping those from behind to flatten those pearl drops out, and there we go. So thank you, as always, so much for watching. Links and all those things will be down in the description box. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. It really helps me out. And maybe chat to me in the comments, because that really helps too. Just helps get my channel seen and stuff, which I always really appreciate. So yes, okay, I think I am done for this video. Thank you so much again. I'm now going.